To know who we are, you really have to know what our values are. Our values are at the core of everything that we do. It's the center of our thinking and our planning in the way that we provide services. And to know what our values are, we have to take a step back in time. In the last video, I spoke about living and what it meant for me to be, to spend some time in the L'Arche community. And what I saw there created a set of values from which I brought 6 years later to this agency when I was hired as its president and CEO, that still exist and still hold firm to this day. Those values are based on first love, a mutuality of love. What I saw at L'Arche was an authentic piece of caring for people, disabled person and non-disabled person, who wanted to live together, who wanted to share their lives together, who expressed willingly and exhibited willingly a real caring, a real love for one another. So there was this mutuality of love that was the most heartfelt thing that I saw at the L'Arche community. There was also this mutuality of respect of one's humanness. People weren't identified by their disability, but they were identified by being human and what all that means. The ability and the capacity of love in not only giving but accepting, the capacity for compassion and caring. And so it was this mutual respect that was so clear and so authentic that it just ran through the household in ways that I never saw in the built fashions of housing and living that I was leading. I also saw this peculiar and wonderful giving of people's heart, and with that heart, the openness of letting people into that heart in their own vulnerability. So often we ask people with disabilities to open up and to be vulnerable to us. They have no real escape from that. But we just don't do that for people that we're that close to. And what I saw at L'Arche was this openness and this willingness to show everybody where your weaknesses, where your vulnerability was. And it's a belief of mine that you really can't truly love until you open up your own vulnerabilities to other people. So it was the willingness to be vulnerable to people. And finally, there was this dependence on people that I saw, true dependence, only found when you care so much for somebody, is that part of love is obviously being dependent on the person, dependent on a person for joy and laughter and counsel and just being there and being touched. And so that was there at the L'Arche community as well. And what I also saw there was that people were doing this out of no financial profit, that they obviously got profit from those relationships, but it wasn't financially born. So the values of our agency are based on the mutuality of love between people, the mutuality of respect, the belief in one's humanness and the ability and the capacity of love and caring and sympathy and empathy. There is this willingness and this openness to be vulnerable in front and before people. And finally, it was the ability to be interdependent on another person. And it's our hope today that we'll continue well into the future based on these hard-earned and carefully designed and empathetic values.